Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Way of the Long Death monk build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is part of the 5e monk subclass and combined mod made by Sumradagnoth here, and the Way of the Long Death gets actually a little bit of a buff due to how the rule set in Baldur's Gate 3 works. So we'll start off here as a monk, and our ability score will be as followed: 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 16 wisdom. You can also put the wisdom points into your constitution if you prefer. I just found that this one worked well. And if we want to optimize, we're going to actually dump our strength and use a strength potion. You don't have to do that. You can actually put the Club of Hill Giant Strength in your offhand if you'd like, but we'll roll with this. Level 2 gives us our bonus action, patient, defense, dash, and disengage, which is a great thing to have. But level 3 is when we get to choose our subclass with the Way of the Long Death. Sumradagnoth made some really cool icons here for them. So this gives us the Touch of the Death. When you reduce a creature within 1.5 meters of you to 0 health points, you gain 6 temporary health points, double our character level. So this can actually end up being quite a bit, but the big thing is once we get to level 6, which I'll discuss when we get there, we get the slow fall, resistance to fall damage, and a feat. I'd recommend grabbing Tavern Brawler. This is just always going to be one of the best options for a monk because it doubles the damage from your strength modifier. You have to use a strength potion or the club to be able to maximize the damage here. Otherwise, don't take this and just go with a dexterity improvement. Some people like the dex monks. I think due to the nature of Baldur's Gate 3, this is the best way to do it. And you could set your constitution to 15, boost up to 16. I'm going to use the constitution amulet, and both these stats actually become kind of moot at that point because you can always pump up your strength and constitution using items. Level 5, extra attack, but a big thing here is our stunning strikes, which are very useful. Stunning strike can take a target out of combat. It's nice to have, but level 6 is the Hour of Reaping, which actually gets a little bit of a buff in Baldur's Gate 3 due to how Frightened works. So creatures that you see you become frightened, they have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls and cannot move closer to you. This actually is a little different. So in D&D, it makes it so they can't move towards your character. In Baldur's Gate 3, frightened creatures just can't move at all. So a slight buff overall to that. That's just due to how the rules are kind of made in Baldur's Gate 3. It's nice though, because the open hand monk is just so overpowered. Any other monk needs a subclass boost. Off topic, but I think that the Way of the Drunken Master should have gotten Tavern Brawler built in just because it is the worst subclass in the game. Stillness of Mind, you can cast Stillness of Mind if you become Charmed or Frightened to remove that. You also get the Evasion there, which reduces the damage from spells, so you take half damage on a successful, or if you fail, and no damage if you successfully succeed, so less damage from spells. Alert for the +5 to initiative is also a great choice here. Savage Attacker does not work because it's not a melee attacker, it's an unarmed attacker. So again, we got Tavern Brawler there, one of the best choices. Lucky is okay, and you can also just go with an improvement to your dexterity because dex will give us more initiative due to the d4 dexterity in Baldur's Gate 3. That just means you're more likely to go first, which means we can take out enemies quicker. Unarmed movement doesn't slow you down whenever you step on difficult terrain. That's great. Level 10 gives us the Purity of Body, immune to poison damage, can't be poisoned, which is great as well. Level 11 gives us subclass feature Mastery of Death. When you drop to 0 health points, we'll have an available key point. You regain 1 health. So this is good. You can continually keep stepping back up using your key points for just survivability, which is kind of crazy. So this makes us very strong. Level 12 will give us a feat here, and you can go with an increase to your overall ability score improvement on dexterity. The tough feat, which will give us, if we take it to level 20, an extra 40 health, is another good choice too. Level 13 gives us the Tongue of the Sun of Mood. You can touch others to touch the key of others' minds so you can understand all spoken languages. That's more so just a D&D based thing. It's not part of the subclass. Level 14, unarmed movement. Your movement speed increased by 7.5 meters, giving us a lot of mobility. Level 15, another key point. We love those. We need those. Level 16 gives us another feat, and as mentioned, tough. Tough is great just because of that extra 40 health that we'll get at max level here. And alert is also good too. You can go with either one of these here. They're both just super useful to have. Level 17 gives us the Touch of the Long Death. Channel the energy of death into a creature you touch. Damage increases with the number of key points you spend. So that can be pretty strong, which will show off when we get to combat. Level 18, increase movement speed by 9 meters, so further increasing our movement speed. More key points at level 19, and we can take the tough feat again there for that extra 40 health. Massive boost to our survivability. And then whenever we have no key points remaining, we can recover 4 at the start of combat. Always long rest. Or I guess I should say short rest. So the Touch of the Death there, you can add a lot of extra damage. So a 2d10, 4d10, depending on the key points you want to expend, all the way up to 10, which is a 20d10. That is not always going to be your best choice, but obviously, Touch of Death, it's meant for max damage. I'm also using the CL Dastardly Rogue armor mod there, just for this outfit. It felt somewhat appropriate. And as far as items go, the Horns of the Berserker is actually kind of nice on this build. It deals additional necrotic damage as long as you haven't taken or as long as you don't have full health, so you can keep attacking. +2 to attack rolls that have already taken damage, although we don't need any boost to our attack rolls, so you can go with the haste helm to further increase your movement speed. I think that's a good option early game. And then really go with whatever you prefer. Mask of Souls and Perception's nice too, but with Tavern Brawler, we're not missing. The Scabby Pugilist Circlet can also be nice for the additional 2 damage when we're surrounded, so that can be good too. Cloak Protection, enough said. Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, the best in slot. Go with whatever clothing you can get early game. It's really just the best available. Nothing's gonna be super necessary for this. This allows you to do an unarmed strike on an attacker that misses. Gloves of Soul Catching. Again, there's a lot of early game options with different elemental damage types. The Gloves of the Uninhibited Kashigo will also be nice too, because this also applies to unarmed attacks. Helldust Gloves will apply bleed and necrotic damage too, which can fit actually thematically here. I just think the Gloves of Soul Catching just ends up being the best overall. Evasive Shoes, +1 armor class. You can also go with the Boots of Uninhibited Kashigo, adding our Wisdom modifier to unarmed strikes, which is nice. We're going with no weapon here, although there's a staff early game that you can grab that'll give you a +1 to your unarmed attack rolls. Crypt Lord Ring actually kind of makes sense here. Create Undead, Way of the Long Death. You know, it works. If not, we're going to go with the Killer Sweetheart for the free crit, the Crusher's Ring for movement speed, Ring of Protection for better armor class. We also got the Hell Rider Longbow for the +3 to initiative. You can use the Amulet of Greater Health to put our health up to 263. However, obviously the best would be like the Sentient Amulet giving you the key restoration. But this is going to be better in terms of just for survivability. All right, so when it comes to combat, we do have the Touch of the Long Death, which is really strong. The Hour of Reaping actually applies in a huge area of effect. So if you can go in and cast this, it's actually pretty effective because the targets will all become frightened. So that's a really good use of your action, especially if you can group a lot of enemies into it. So you go ahead there, big frightened, and that hit everybody there. Perfect. So then we can go focus on some of the other enemies here. Now, bonus action, you could have went with the 3 levels of Rogue Thief. For typically mod builds, like to use the full class just to showcase it, but if you want to min-max the extra bonus action, that's an extra flurry of blows. Really good. We can just go with an unarmed strike, though. That's going to hit really hard. We rolled a 41 on that hit, which is nuts. That was enough to kill. That's perfect. We can then follow that up with another punch, taking out any high priority cast. Oh, that didn't actually take them out. We want this target taken out. We also got a bonus action punch there, but the key point flurry of blows is even better. So yeah, we'll just go with that. It was enough to take them out. We should have probably used the Touch of the Death on them, but the nice thing is those frightened enemies are stuck in positions. And one of my favorite things ever, Greater Kashigo counter. Boom! Take a punch to the face. That was 33 damage. And we'll finish this target off just with a singular punch. We're going to go use our key points on some further damaging enemies here. So they're all still fearful. Great. Now we're going to use these Touch of the Long Death. This target has 60 health, so yeah, we can use 4 key points, potentially taking them out with that. Cool action there. They saved on it. Of course they did. That's not what we wanted to have happen, so we'll just punch them there to finish them off. And then it's best to go after some of the higher priority targets there that have spell casting that can shut us down. We'll then go with a flurry of blows on this target here, but boom, there you go. Nice. And we got hit losing a bit of our temporary health, but the thing is our health bar is untouched. And you know what time it is. Greater Kashigo counter, go! Yeah, it hits hard. I love the Greater Kashigo counter. Just a lot of fun. If we had 2 reactions, that would have been another punch to their head. And we'll target this one here because they're attacking Minsk and we don't want to have Boo harm, so another punch. The thing with the monk is it's just punch, 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 punch. But this one does have the cool abilities. You get the Hour of Reaping there. Then we can also go with a max roll Touch of Death, 20d10. We'll apply it on this target. Might get mind broken, but we're going to do it anyways. Yeah, we did. And we missed. And we'll try that again. Touch of the Long Death. Big boom. 70% hit chance. 114. Yeah, that is good. That does use up a whole action, so you can't do an extra attack afterwards. So that's the only downside. So if you're going to use that, go all in with it. We're not going to be able to attack this target, but we're going to try it anyway. Yeah. Oh, we got the punch off, though. That was enough to take them out. So, whoa! And that was the Way of the Long Death Monk by Sumradagnoth. Really fun class. Again, that's Touch of the Long Death is going to be one of the best damage options that we got. It does use up your whole action, but it can hit really hard. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch y'all in the next video.